Imagine this. A stormy night in the city, where neon lights glimmered against the rain-soaked streets, and a young waitress stood at the heart of a story no one could have expected. If you're listening right now, you're about to experience a tale that will touch your heart deeply, so make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, because you won't want to miss stories like this one. It all began in a small, cozy restaurant tucked away in a quiet corner of town. Sophia, a humble waitress, worked double shifts to support her sick mother at home. She was known for her kind smile, her patience with even the most difficult customers, and the way she always noticed when someone was in pain. One evening, as she cleared tables, she noticed a boy sitting alone in a corner booth. His clothes were too fine for such a place, tailored suit, polished shoes, but his eyes told another story. They were filled with sadness, fear, and a silence that weighed heavy. The boy was Ethan, son of billionaire businessman Richard Lancaster. To the outside world, Ethan had everything: wealth, privilege, a life others could only dream of. But Sophia could see through the surface. She noticed the faint bruise on his wrist, the way his small hands trembled as he clutched his glass of water. When she approached, softly asking if he was all right, he hesitated before whispering, "Please, don't tell her I'm here." Moments later, the restaurant doors flew open, and in came a woman whose beauty was cold, sharp, and cruel, Vanessa, Ethan's stepmother. Her heels clicked like gunshots on the tiled floor, her eyes scanning the room with fury. She found Ethan and marched toward him, grabbing his arm too tightly, hissing words Sophia couldn't ignore. "You ungrateful child, do you know how much trouble you've caused me?" "Wait until Wedgethome," something in Sophia snapped. She had seen enough cruelty in her life, enough injustice. Before she could think twice, she stepped between Vanessa and Ethan. "Excuse me, ma'am," Sophia said firmly, though her heart raced. "He's just a child. You can't treat him like this." Vanessa's laugh was icy, her voice dripping with contempt. "And who are you? A lowly waitress? Stay out of matters you can't possibly understand." She tried to pull Ethan away, but Sophia stood her ground. Customers began to watch, whispers filling the restaurant, but no one dared to intervene. Sophia's protective instinct only grew stronger. She crouched down to Ethan's level, her voice gentle now. "You're safe here. I promise, I won't let anyone hurt you." For the first time, Ethan's eyes softened, and he nodded slightly, clinging to her sleeve as though she were his last lifeline. The confrontation escalated until, suddenly, the restaurant's doors opened again, this time revealing Richard Lancaster himself. The billionaire had arrived, summoned by the chaos. He looked first at his son, then at his wife's furious face, and finally at Sophia, who stood like a shield before Ethan. "What's going on here?" Richard demanded. Vanessa quickly launched into a performance, twisting the story to paint Ethan as disobedient and Sophia as an interfering stranger. But as she spoke, Richard's gaze remained fixed on his son. Ethan's trembling lips moved, and for the first time in months, he whispered to his father, "Dad, she hurts me when you're not there." The room fell silent. The truth hung heavy in the air. Vanessa's mask cracked, her excuses faltered, and suddenly Richard saw clearly what he had been blind to for so long. His son's fear was real. His stepmother's cruelty was undeniable. And standing in the middle of it all was Sophia, the only one who had dared to protect his child. Richard's heart sank with guilt, but also gratitude. He turned to Sophia, voice heavy with emotion. "Thank you, for protecting my son when I failed to see the truth." Vanessa was escorted away, her cold empire of lies collapsing before her, while Richard took Ethan into his arms. But the story didn't end there. Richard asked Sophia to stay, to continue being part of Ethan's life, not as a servant, but as a trusted companion, a guardian of his heart. Though hesitant at first, Sophia's compassion wouldn't allow her to turn away from the boy who had clung to her with such desperate hope. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan began to heal. He laughed again, played again, even dreamed again. And every step of the way, Sophia was there, reminding him that kindness was stronger than cruelty, and love could be found in the most unexpected places. Richard, too, was changed. He began spending more time with Ethan, making up for the years lost to business and blindness. And in the quiet moments, he found himself drawn to Sophia, not because of her beauty, though it was undeniable, but because of her strength, her courage, and the way she carried a heart larger than any fortune. The story of a waitress and a billionaire's son became a story of healing, redemption, and unexpected love. And as you sit here listening, remember this: sometimes the bravest people are the ones the world overlooks. Sometimes, the strongest heroes wear aprons, not capes. So if this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in kindness and courage again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Because in a world full of cruelty, we all need more stories that remind us of hope. And who knows? The next story could be yours.